The Fed is printing money. Iran, France, protest. Market collapse, but more importantly, the riches are being floated up. Hey, gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and I want to kind of explain the side effect that has around the world because when we think about we are having 2% inflation or 3% inflation, it's very, very expensive for the working class. It's very, very expensive for the middle class, and the price of assets continues goes up by central bankers printing of money. What kind of assets? Like real estate, like stocks, and so on. And but what which makes it hard for those getting diluted while they're sleeping and they're not even aware about it because it's basically a hidden tax. Because compared to what happens in other world, because globally, where first world countries like France, for over 1 year, the yellow vest movement or pro someone with a college, they have to have a second job or a third job just to pay. And this is 1 year straight, and they're protesting right now on the street. Have countries that are what we'll call third world countries like Latin America, Middle East, same thing exactly is happening there. For example, Iran. I'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, what I'm talking about is the side effect of America's Fed, our Fed, central bankers printing money. The side effect it has to third world countries is because we see it the least. That's because we're the world reserve currency, or what's called the petrodollar. And what that is that every country in the world, if they want to buy gas, all these countries have to have the US dollar to be able to purchase that from Saudi Arabia or the OPEC, which Saudis are the leader ring of it. So because we're the world reserve currency through around the world, um, but it's still a cost of food can go on and on. For only a certain market, other countries like France and so on. Why is that important to you and me if we live in America? Because the printing of money enslaves us and allow what that does makes the people around the world suffer. And that's why, good money is way better than power. The problem is that the elites, the power have it, and whoever's closest to the central bankers, whoever's closest to the printing actions. For example, if the average person in America wants to go and get a home, that the too big to fail bankers, or if you're one of the too big to fail X or Y company in America, then you'll get the printed money for almost free without any restrictions, without any requirements. Why is there not any requirement? Because they're the elites. For example, the Fed is printing at a tune of $120 billion for 2 months now, right? First was 75 billion. This is per day, not per month or per week. Now it's $120 billion just given out to banks that we don't even know if it's Bank of America, if it's the bank in Germany. I forgot the name of it right now. Deutsche Bank. Oh, size is the world country, but man, all the way down why Latin America and so on. And so that's the side effect, and that's the sign of the economic collapse, in my opinion. Because why would the printing be going on so much? Because the messed up thing is the dollar's not backed by anything besides faith. Okay, it's not like it's backed by gold. At one time, the dollar was backed by gold, but today, not anymore, guys and gals. So the most craziest aspect is that we are seeing the side effects of what's going on, but it's not hitting home directly. Okay, but it may hit home directly. Okay, and that's why I do what I do, is because we can't see what's going on with the banks doing bailing out stuff like that. They're not letting us know, but we can see the side effects that all rising against their governments because of too much taxation, or because of inflation, because of cost of goods are going up. I mean, if you think about it, in France they uprose because there was the tax on fuel. In Iran, overnight, just overnight, guys, people went to sleep, they woke up, and you know what? Gas has gone up 50%. So imagine you're in America. If you're in California, you're paying $4 right now for gas, and then your gas goes up per gallon to $8, $9, which is basically what I predicted 2 or 3 months ago on my YouTube channel, that we'll see in America gas per gallon at $9 plus. Okay, and but that's happened with in Iran, and right now there's people protesting because the average person has been getting squeezed out because of the Iranian uh, radical Islamic leaders, but also because of the U.S. meddling, policing, overthrowing governments and in Iran. Okay, through sanctions, and because what sanctions do is same thing has happened in Venezuela and any other country that steps up to us. We sanction them because it kills their trade. Because believe it or not, tariffs are not good for countries. Tariffs create wars, but free trade, right? Free trade creates abundance, creates opportunities, creates peace, creates learning of you. But if we don't trade with people, then we think, well, those guys are boogeyman, and this guy's green, and that one's blue, and this is whatever. But if we trade with them, then we think, oh man, that guy in the red, he's pretty cool, he's funny. The guy in the blue, man, I like the way the food that they have. That's awesome. And so that's what free trade does. So before I go any further, if you have any questions, leave a comment. Uh, if you're feeling the hard times right now and you need a side hustle to generate some money, I've created a whole system. It's called the New Flip. It's basically a franchise, but it's not a franchise. So it's not a franchise, but it's like a franchise without all the fees and upfront money, the royalty fees and upfront money. Um, all you do is just copy and paste, follow the instructions, and I show you how why America is such a great country, where you could turn $100 into $200 in a very short period of time, or turn $100 into $300, $400. I've done 100 to 700. My students done 100 to 600, 500, 300, and so on. And many of my students are having success with this. It's called the New Flip. It doesn't matter if you're in UK. I have students in UK. You check out my YouTube channel that actually implemented the New Flip. And again, all you need is $100 if you want to have a side business, and it doesn't take a lot of time. If you follow the instructions, copy and paste, you can 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x your money. Now there is a little bit risk involved with it, like any other business, or if you want to be your dreams. But again, the risk that you're putting up is just $100 versus, for example, getting into debt to go to college, where you have to get into debt so much money, or versus like and so on. So if you're interested in a new flip, just go to thenewflip.mrnofluff.com. Right now, you can get it for $67. I sell this course for $500 right now. I know the recession's here. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. So you can get it for just $69 or $67. I can't remember. Go to myrealestatedojo.com or go to thenewflip.mrnofluff.com to get it. Or there should be a link below if you want to just look below. Now, coming to the story, guys, what's going on in Iran is, again, people went to sleep, they woke up, prices went up 50%. Since they've been already getting squeezed by the sanctions, which affects the average workers, right? So they're very upset at their government, which is exactly what Big Brother wants to do, is to manipulate other sovereign countries, for good or bad, for their own interests, which I don't think should be done with our tax dollars. Okay, I don't think anyone should go lose their lives and stuff building the mother of all bombs, in a sense that only benefits the merchants of death. Okay, versus the average Joe or average Bob or average Jose or the average Muhammad. You know what I mean, guys? Click the like button, guys. Just to support the channel. Now, what's happening in Iran is exactly what happened in France. Just a little tax. When in Iran it was 50% tax. Just the same exact thing that happened in Iran is exactly what same thing is happening in France. And so same thing is happening in Chile, same thing is happening in other parts of Latin America. So you can see just a little thing can tip the whole thing over, where there's going to be millions of people marching on the streets, okay? And something that I ask myself is, why is this all happening at one time? Okay. Like so many different countries. Now I've seen through history, like one country will have civil unrest, and then 20 years later another country, but all of them at one time. Okay. So I ask myself that. I don't have the answer. I just speculate and stuff. But I think is the side effect of central bankers printing money. Okay. Now, in my opinion, not financial advice, I believe that the stock market is going to collapse 40 to 60%. I'm not financial advice. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or how you invest, but I just believe that that's what's going to happen. That's why I don't have any money in stocks. I don't even believe in stocks, but told my woman to take her money out of her 401k. I'm not telling you that's what you should do, but I just told her, and I'm just explaining how we're doing our thing. But please don't follow what we're doing. Do your due research, think for yourself, and figure out what you should do. At the same time, 2016, I brought to you guys that I saw this crash coming in 2016. Everyone said I was freaking crazy. You can go to my YouTube channel and take a look at it. I put it out there. I said, look, real estate is such a bubble. I'm out. I'm a real estate investor. I said, dude, I'm out, and I said that gold is going to be the play. And we can see that gold has gone up since 2016, from $1,100 to what today is, which is almost $1,500, 14 and some change, 1475 and some change. So far I've been right on the gold. So far I've been right on the real estate. Now some people are keeping their eye on, for example, Fox News, and they're keeping their eye on, the stock market. And I think what they're missing the boat on is that, I'm not going to talk about Fox, but on the stock market is, I think, in my opinion, I'm speculating though, is manipulated, right? Because we've seen bankers like JP Morgan getting busted, manipulating the gold down just pounds. We've seen these criminals, do criminal things and nothing happens to them. So that's why I think the stock market is rigged, because the Fed has interest rate at all-time zero in the history of America. The president talks about, hey, let's go to negative interest rate. We are having countries in Europe that already have negative interest rate, not only on their more negative. So at $100, next year you'll have $97, and after that you'll have 95, and every year after that your money gets less and less. And remember, because there is negative interest rate, there's probably going to be inflation, right? So you're getting kill two ways. Your money's going from 97 to 95. At the same time, your purchasing power is decreasing, which is a robbing that way. So instead of being really 95, you're probably 95, but your purchasing power is at 85 because of so much printing. And that's why we are in a negative interest rate situation in some of the countries, guys. Um, Now, why do I say the riches are getting floated to the elite? Because it's very, very simple. If you were in the business of real estate in 2016, 2017, 2018 crash, you will see that the bankers got to foreclose on the property. The bankers got PMI insurance. The bankers got the down payment and all the improvements the house had may have been done to it. And so they got paid like five ways. And the homeowners were, a lot of them were subprime borrowers that were probably not educated, didn't even know what's going on. And they got a bunch of shitty loans with adjustable mortgages, with prepayment penalties that were just toxic loans that no one could even understand or pay for. And now here's the thing. I don't, I see that happening today. I just talked to a seller that has an arm, right? And this is just a new loan that happened in just maybe she got a loan into 2018. That she has a loan that has adjustable mortgage on it, high interest rate, like high, like you wouldn't believe it in today's era. The same interest rate you would get in 2006, 2005, high, and arm. Okay, why? Because they removed the Dodge Franklin Act. I forgot the guy's name, but I think that's what it is. Dodge Franklin, I believe. And now arms are cool again. Like adjustable mortgages are cool again, and are going to fool people. People don't understand. I mean, I don't even understand bankers. I mean, like, dude, derivatives, no one understands. And if people understood what derivatives were, then people would be upset. If people knew how banking worked, then people would be upset. If they knew how printing was done, or the average person went to work, then they would be upset. Um, so why am I saying the riches are getting floated up to the elites? Well, because in last crash, all the elites start buying all the assets at 50 cents, 60 cents, 40 cents on the dollar. Okay. Um, or they were giving money, almost free money to go buy these assets too. So they didn't even have to use their own money. And the same thing is happening now. As you see, central bankers are accumulating more and more and more assets while everyone else gets into debt. Who's everyone else? Well, one of the world's largest milk producers in America just filed bankruptcy. I brought it to you on my YouTube channel. Um, GMC filed bankruptcy in the last crash. GE just froze their pensions. I brought it to you on my YouTube channel, and so on and so on. Okay, so all these big corporations that you think I just brought to you guys, KB Homes, guys. Like if you look at their stocks, they're going up, but for every dollar they bring in, they have 4.7% debt associated with that. So for every $5 they make, let's say, well, they don't have they don't have positive. So it's not like they have $5. So they got to borrow $5, and they only are positive $1. So their debt to income, I guess, is 4.7 times more debt than for every dollar they bring in. And that's not a sustainable business in any parts of the world, Africa, Iran, Mexico, America. But in America, it's possible because people, the working class, where the rich call dumb money, they make them responsible for what's called their 401ks or their retirements. And most people don't know shit from Adam. They don't want to spend any time and energy to do their own due diligence. And I don't mean disrespect because it's very complex and it's complex because it's meant to be complex to fool people, right? Just like economists, they make it real complex to fool people. So complexity comes from stupid people. Simplicity is like nature, but it is that things work. So but they make it so complex. People don't know what to do. They'll advise you because they want to opt into watching the football game or opt in watching soccer or entertainment instead of spending that time to educate themselves. And then these guys that they opt into, Again, if they're floating the money to the riches, these guys they're opting into are making tons of fees in every direction. Some of them disclosed, some of them not even disclosed. Okay, from the dumb money, and the dumb money invest in companies that are in the newspaper, like KB Homes, not really understanding that their balance sheet is more negative than you could imagine, because no one in their right mind would invest. I mean, not financial advice, but for me, I would never invest in a business that for every dollar it brought in, it had $5 in debt. So that I wouldn't. But in America, it works. In other countries, it works because they have stock markets, and then pensions. They make it simple. They believe in financial advisors, and they say, okay, this is a good company. I'll put my money here, and I'll put my money in there. And then what happens? It keeps going up. It keeps going up. It keeps going up, and they feel like they're rich. And at any time the banker just suck it out and pull it in. How do I know? Just look at the last crash. People's 401s, okay, their homes, okay, and it's all psychological to make the workhorse feel like it has a lot of carrots, and at any time they could just, all right, and it doesn't matter what level of education you have. If you're a doctor, attorney, lawyer, trash picker, I've seen it happen too, because in the last crash I talked to attorneys, I talked to doctors, I talked to firefighters, I talked to teachers, I talked to just contractors, and they all motivated. Many of them had upside down houses. Many of them had crazy loan terms that you would never believe, like arms and pre pre penalty for paying it early. Things that doesn't make any sense, because if I was a bank, if I was a lender, I would like to get my money as fast as possible. Why would I put a pre penalty if they paid? Make any sense? Okay, so that's why I'm saying that the riches are being floated to the elites, and the whole system is set up like that. I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, you got to be a fool to not believe it, and not financial advice. But for me, I realize it, because why would anyone invest in, for example, an X stock that has so much debt? Why would anyone invest in, for example, Uber or Lyft, when these companies are not even profitable starting out? I mean, think about it. It's like the dot-com era, where hundreds and thousands of investors are buying businesses. It didn't even work, right? Very few made. So I think the solution is Bitcoin and gold for sure, guys. Let me see if I have any comments. My man says that it will start in California. I was sleeping, and I had this feeling that, hey, man, when I woke up, that gas is going to go $9. I said, you know what? Let me put myself out there. And I don't have a crystal ball. World War III, gas prices probably will be over $9, and right, because they lack the infrastructure to process the gas, um, and so on. So I don't know where it's going to start, but California is a good bet to me, guys. Click the like button, guys. The man just said that even Hollywood is losing jobs. I read that. I just thought it was pretty funny, man. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you're interested in getting to real estate and wholesaling deals where you don't have to have money, or much money, I should say, you don't have to have a lot of credit. But if you're willing to do a lot of sweat equity, then wholesaling is an option that you're able to do deals in real estate. If you're interested in that, or if you're interested in buying houses at 50, 60% off with working with homeowners direct, then consider joining my profit sharing. If you're interested in finding fix and flip properties where you don't have to pay wholesalers, then consider joining my profit sharing. If you're looking for rental homes where the seller will become your bank, where the investor doesn't have to go get a loan, then definitely come to my profit sharing. And if you're broke or you need a side hustle, then I highly recommend downloading the new Flip. You can find it at myrealestatedojo.com. Again, myrealestatedojo.com. I teach you how to invest or take a risk with $100 and 2x, 3x, 4x it, or you can lose it to go to zero, of course. That's why it's a risk. But a lot of my students have a lot of success. It's not hard at all. If you follow the instructions, it's copy and paste job. And I'm confident that if you're a hustle, if you're a hustler, uh, you'll have success. You don't have to be a brain science. That's why America is so great, because millions of people want to come here to be entrepreneurs. And I just showed you in the new Flip, or anyone, how simple it is to be an entrepreneur in America on one of the simplest things. And I don't want to disclose it here because I don't want to create too much competition for everyone, for my students to buy it. But if you have $100 and you want to potentially 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, 7x it, then the new Flip. You can download it at myrealestatedojo.com, or you can go to the new flip.mrnofluff.com and get it, guys. Okay. Vinny says, I'm a hustler. Well, welcome, brother, man. And guys, I think that in today's economy, being a hustler is an awesome tool, because, not financial advice, but I know most of the money, if a lot of money is made in the down market versus the up market, because there's too much competition, the assets are going up, and that's why people with the money and the wealthiest people in America, you're seeing articles on over that they're taking their money out and they're putting liquid so they can, I'm assuming and speculating, to buy assets when not that when there are people going bankrupt, so they could just pick up these assets for pennies on the dollar. Uh, Vinny says, "Yeah, guys, good job." Vinny says he called the number and no one will call you back. That's right, man. We don't have a sales team, and that's because we don't want to sell you. So with my company, you have to be able to take a risk by yourself. You got to be able to sell yourself on your dreams. You got to be able to pull on the trigger yourself. We don't want to influence you to make a decision, because if you want to be your dreams, you need a sales guy. You need someone to influence you, to persuade you, to babysit you the sales process. Then you're just getting sold to, and you're never going to be your fucking dreams. End of story. But if you can pull on a trigger by yourself without outside influences, right? That's how I've been an entrepreneur. That's how my students, all of them, do it. Then you do it. If you need someone to call you and sell you, then by all means, my man, go find somewhere else, because it doesn't hurt our feelings at all. And we want you to go somewhere else, because we're not going to babysit anyone on a sales process. If you want to use our products, you go to our website, you read it. If you like it, you join. If you don't like it, not a problem. No one's going to sell it, or you or anyone else, because I have a no selling policy. I've been in sales since high school. I've never had a job. And this company, we're going to sell anyone anything. If you want to join, you make a decision. I know there's millions of other camps out there where you can spend thousands of dollars and they sell you, and they have all kinds of free seminars and tricks and pony tricks to sucker you in. But I'm not interested in that program. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me see if there's any other comments. Okay, someone was asking about the new Flip. The new Flip, you can do it if it doesn't matter if you're in Canada, if you're in Great Britain, if you're in the US. I have students everywhere. If you're a hustler, you can make it work in your local area. If you're in a small town, if you're in, you can work 10 hours, you can work 40 hours, you can turn this idea into a full-fledged business and have multiple locations. You can do whatever you want with it, okay? But I just wanted to package a system that really works, and you only need $100. I call it a game because you play it like a game, right? And you learn while you make money. So instead of just going to school and you sit there and you take notes, you never make money. This game puts you in the field right now. You implement, you take action, you learn how to talk to sellers, learn how to negotiate, you learn how to find deals, you learn to sell it for $500, you can get it for $67. Good question, man. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Much love. Peace.